All right, getting ready for Deer Camp 2025.
Hey!
So this is the new style. We have the new
Whiskey St. Nick and his magic right here. You got up there?
All right, let's get into it. As always, thanks for joining. Well, we have wrapped up Deer Camp and we had an absolute blast. And some people may not know exactly what Deer Camp is all about, but for us, it's not so much about the hunting. You know, we love hunting. We love getting out and hunting together. We love doubling up in trees and box blinds and stuff. But for us, it's really just about hanging out and just having a good time together. The camaraderie of us as a bunch of men just getting together and hanging out and having a blast. We love telling our hunting stories. We love having some fun. And, you know, it is just always a good time at Deer Camp. It isn't just about the hunting, and thank goodness, because this year was a little rough for us. I think we only ended up with, 7 deer for 8 guys up at Deer Camp, which is not normal for us at all. Really kind of was not a great year for hunting, but I tell you what, that didn't stop us from having a ton of fun. Unfortunately, I did not get as much filming a deer while I was in the stand done as usual, but really that's not what Deer Camp is about. I kind of want to give you guys a taste of what Deer Camp life is for us. We just have an absolute blast. So for me, Deer Camp started off on Monday, November 10th. All right, getting ready for Deer Camp 2025. Got the truck all packed up, and man, right here in southeast Michigan, we had snowmageddon last night and ended up getting about 8 inches of snow piled on the vehicles and stuff. Was enough to take down trees and all sorts of stuff all down my street. All the trees got broken branches and stuff on it. But super excited. I'm gonna meet my brother-in-law Jeff and my nephew Bowie up at Deer Camp, and we're gonna be out in the woods tonight, so let's get on the road. But on the very first day there, we unpacked our gear and we got right out into the woods. It's got a practice tip.
That's a double lung shot.
Yeah. All right, it's November 10th. We got me, we got Jeff, we got Bowie, and we are headed out. Here we go. Got out in the stands and really were surprised to not see much action that night. We really didn't see any deer, which is very unusual for us on the public land that we're on. Usually we see a lot of deer, so this year was really kind of an off year for us. Tuesday the 11th is Veterans Day, and we always end up going out for dinner with my brother-in-law Jeff, who is a retired Coast Guard chief, and just in appreciation to all of our men and women who serve in the military. Big thank you to you guys. We couldn't do what we do every day without you guys. So ended up going out, sitting out in the stand, didn't really see anything. My brother-in-law Jeff shot at a doe. All right, going to pick up Jeff and Bowie. They said they were on a blood trail and went dead, but I think they shot one. See him back there. I don't know. They are wandering around. Maybe they are, but they might be messing with me. The blood trail went cold just before it went onto some private, and we weren't able to recover that doe. During the afternoon sit, I went and hung in this swamp stand that I'd set up.
This time I'm hunting out in a swamp stand. This will be the first time I've sat out here. At least in this stand. I've saddle hunted out here last year, I think twice if I remember. But this should be interesting. We'll see what happens. I've had some bucks coming through here the last few days. Nice 8-point.
And we've seen some big deer back in there. Not the frequency of deer, but there are some big deer back there. Really known for playing euchre on my phone and getting busted. And it happened again. I was playing euchre, and if you're not from Michigan, you probably don't even know what euchre is, but it's a card game. And I was playing euchre on my phone, and all of a sudden I look up, and there is a nice 6 or 7 pointer who has snuck up to about 30 yards from me. Never had a chance to get the camera turned on or anything. I barely got my phone put away. That deer was on me from the second I grabbed my bow. I made it to here, had my release in my hand, and was clipped on, and made it to about here as I was trying to draw back, and that deer jumped out of range and hopped off to about 60 yards. If it was gun season, he'd have been down for sure, because he just kind of stopped and stared back at me, but never ended up getting a shot at that deer and never got him on camera. That afternoon after the hunt, we ended up going back to camp and had our first session of story time. And for us, story time is one of the favorite times of the day.
This is a thumb?
Not thumb like you got.
Yeah, part of mine's eroded.
Yeah. This is a real thumb. The real thumb of Michigan. Did you just shoot? I go, yeah. I just got one. He goes, I shoot the doe, and then 20 seconds later, he shoots the doe. That's what we got to get for Bryn.
Yeah, but you need to
Got to give him a big back hug.
Yeah.
Seriously, he dug this big hole in this field, and we just took it all. It was so nice.
Playing
Playing
euchre.
poker, yeah.
Playing euchre.
That's what every good hunter does, especially
Learned that
especially
from
once
his
you
uncle.
know there's a deer, right?
Uncle JJ.
And so yeah, learn from
Uncle
the
J
best.
Boo.
Uncle J-Boo.
JR Outdoors.
Yeah. J
He
Boo.
tells you straight
J
up.
Boo.
Euchre's the way.
So then I'm sitting there.
It's
the
his
fair
first,
point.
dude,
It's
I'm his
live.
dad, I'm a wreck.
I got off work at
It's his
probably like
first
1 in the
solo
morning,
hunt.
so I was liable to be asleep.
And?
Down one at 5 o'clock in the evening for him.
Tell us about the blood trail.
On the blood trail.
Was it like a red carpet event?
It looks like one.
Oh,
Deer
love
didn't even
those.
run 40 yards.
Love the red carpets.
Oh, we've never done anything like that.
I think I'm gonna lay down. He just kind of lays down right there.
No
And
way.
then he just turns his head back, and he keeps like licking himself on. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So he died right there. Went 40 yards.
Oh, that's awesome.
5 yards from the property line.
That's how tough. They didn't even know they're.
We all gather in the living room. We're usually eating dinner, and whoever has a kill story has to get up in front of all of us, stand up in front of us, and basically present their story. And it's used to really entertaining. And, a lot of times some of those stories get stretched a little exaggerated a little, but that is half the fun of it. And we just have questions that we'll ask, and just really a fun time. And we just one guy at a time tells their stories. Just one of our favorite traditions at deer camp. Well, Wednesday was really uneventful morning. Again, no sightings of deer, which is super unusual for us. And then in the afternoon, headed out to go sight in the guns. You going on target 2, Dad?
Number 2.
Your left and right's perfect, and you're like on the edge of the red ring on the top, right at 12 o'clock.
Leave it at.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch that. Bullseye! There we go. Thursday morning, we switched things up. Jeff and Ryan hunted together in one of the family box blinds, and I took Austin out to hunt in one of the other family box blinds. And Austin was able to put down a really good doe. She came in at probably about 20, 25 yards. He put a great shot on her, ended up taking out both of her front legs and double lunged her. She snowplowed about 40 yards and piled up dead, and he put a great shot on a really good sized doe.
Sweet. Let's go.
At the same time, Ryan and Jeff were hunting in another one of the family's box blinds, and ended up he took out a really nice 4-pointer, and he was able to haul him on out of there. So we added 2 deer really quickly right to the meat locker. So of course, after the morning sit, it's time for story time. Ryan and Austin got to tell their stories to everybody else, which was always fun. And then we went out for the evening hunt. Austin and I headed out to the swamp stand, and right at last light, with probably about 30 minutes of shooting light left, we had 2 does who came out of the swamp and came up right behind me. I was hanging in a saddle, and Austin was sitting in a stand right in front of me. So I had to kind of spin and turn around and watch these 2 does, and they were just locked on. They knew exactly where we were at and were watching every movement. And then all of a sudden we started to hear another deer that was coming up front to our left. And we were all excited. I don't know why, I just had a gut feeling that this was a buck that was coming in. And that deer was definitely headed right on in. Austin and I were both ready. And all of a sudden, this pack of coyotes, which sounded like it was probably 50 to 75 yards away from us, just went off.
There's something moving to our left.
I don't know how many dogs there were, but man, there was a lot of coyotes. And with the sun going down and it getting really dark, it was a little eerie. He had a crossbow, I had my bow, also had a pistol on me, but still, it was just kind of an eerie feeling. Both sets of those deer were super on edge. The does didn't know what to do. They had coyotes behind them and hunters in front of them, so they literally just kept going around in circles, not sure what they were going to do. The deer that was out in front of us just ended up slowly walking away, never came into sight, which is a real bummer because, like I said, we just believed that that was a buck that was headed on its way in. But needless to say, it was definitely some excitement. Everybody else that was hunting in the area heard those coyotes going off. We ended up talking to a fellow hunter the next morning, and he heard those coyotes and knew that they were super close. But anyway, made for a super exciting night anyway. Like I said, we at least saw 2 deer and just had some excitement. So, well, after that hunt, another new member, Alex, shows up to deer camp, and this is his first time ever hunting, his first hunting experience. So that was kind of cool. So he shows up, and we took our annual trip to one of the restaurants in town. And it was funny because Austin was just ranting and raving about how he wanted some mini tacos. He'd gone to the store and bought some. And the owner of this place ended up going and telling him, bring them on in and throw them in the deep fryer for us. And he did. So after we'd finished eating all of our pizza and everything else, Austin chowed down on some deep fried mini tacos. So that was pretty funny that the owner went ahead and did that for us. But
There you go.
Man.
That's crazy.
Roll the sleeves up,
Yeah. He's rolling up the sleeves. That's awesome. Thanks, Doug.
So Friday the 14th, we end up going out hunting in the morning. Really an uneventful morning with no deer seen again, which is really a rarity for us. But ended up, we wanted to let the woods just have a nice rest that evening because the next day is opening morning, and we just wanted to have a really great opening morning. So we took the 14th and did our annual trip. We ended up going to Northwoods Outdoors. We went to Jay's, and we just loved doing that. A lot of times we don't even buy that much stuff, but it's just fun to get out, hang out, and do a little bit of shopping and just looking at all sorts of different hunting stuff. We also took the afternoon to do our annual knife throwing competition. Brennan loves throwing knives, so he's got an assortment of throwing knives, and we kind of have a competition. This year we introduced a fun little toy, because last year my wife bought me this slingshot for Christmas, and what we ended up doing was we ended up taking these little clay balls and ended up shooting them just straight up in the air. And we would just launch them up in the air, and we were going to get 10 points, 10 extra points if we got hit with one of those clay balls as they fell down. Uh-oh. Watch out there, boo. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Ooh. That's how we do it here at deer camp.
Yep.
Good time. Stay right here.
Okay.
That's your square. Where did it land? It landed like right here, dude. Oh my gosh, that one is the closest
That's
one
like a
yet,
real
dude.
slingshot.
Do it, dude. Do it.
I'm just not launching these high, but why do we have the skewers on? I'll do a dab.
Uh-huh.
You can feel that in the morning.
Teeny loves that.
Get it.
Just look at it.
It's right there. Just look at it. Let's let the people see that.
Give the viewers. You gotta give the viewers what they want. Oh yeah, that's what they want.
That's what I like to see, bro. Oh, everyone's in.
Oh!
Dude, that's worth 2 points. What is that? That's got to be at least worth 2 points. 2 points. Hey, how was engineer school? Perfect. Uh-oh. I'm in the game. Oh, God.
Yo, that had to have barely missed your hat.
Jeremy, you're up.
Oh, stuck another knife.
So then the big show on the 15th, opening day, we call it Christmas morning.
Each hunter had scattered to get his own gun. I had to work fast before the shooting begun. I grabbed my own rifle as I ran toward the sled and fired several warning shots over their head. Merry Christmas!
We're all waiting for you.
Fuck, hold on.
All waiting for you.
Lord, thanks for this food. Thank you for our friends and family here. Help us all get a big buck today, especially Brennan because he has restricted us. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
What do you want? You want coffee?
I still don't know how you two fit on a twin mattress.
Oh, yeah.
What does yours say? What does yours say? Oh, yeah. I thought it was just me.
He's got the Jeff Murphy logo very bad. We went out, and Austin and I, we doubled up in the swamp stand, which is one of our favorite things to do, is to double up on opening day. 2 people in the stands, and you can kind of cover 360 degrees around you. Jeff and Bowie doubled up in their stand, and for me and Austin, we ended up hearing deer definitely being pushed by other hunters across the swamp, and those deer were running through the swamp before daylight. And we had one deer bedded about 50 yards from us. It still was so dark we couldn't see this deer, but we felt like it might have been a buck. We don't know. And it bedded down literally 50 yards from us. We could just hear exactly where it was. It circled down and just laid down right there. And for the next hour, we just sat there almost motionless, trying to not move because we knew that deer was so close. Finally, after about an hour, we could hear that deer get up and start walking. Ended up being, I believe, to be the doe that we had seen a couple days before, because as soon as she came out in the opening, her head was staring right up at me, and just slowly turned and walked away. Didn't want to have anything to do with us. So, but at least we saw some deer. If she'd taken a few more steps, Austin and I think we probably would have shot her. But she just was kind of half behind a tree. Neither of us had a shot on her. We stayed in the stands till about 11:30, and then we finally got down. And Bowie and Austin ended up heading home, while me and Jeff ended up going into town, having some lunch. And while we were sitting, it was really warm opening day. So at lunchtime, I think it was around 50 degrees. And Jeff and I ended up finding this little taco joint, sat down, ended up eating lunch on the patio that overlooked a river. Watched a few deer walk right across this river, watched a bald eagle come in and land in this tree about 100 yards from us. Just really cool. That bald eagle took off and just kind of circled the whole area. So after that, Jeff and I ended up going back into the stand and sat together in the same tree. And once again, the phone caught Jeff sleeping. And this deer ended up coming down, two does ended up coming down the trail. He didn't see him right away. So they ended up getting, as I'm sitting facing this way, that deer came in 90 degrees to me before I could even do anything. So I'm reaching for my gun, ended up flipping the camera open to at least try and record this deer. Jeff had grabbed his gun, and by the time we were ready, this deer was already kind of straight out behind me, and I let Jeff take the shot. He was on her, had the video camera rolling. Hit that deer, and he thought he'd heard her crash. So since he heard her crash, I said, you stay up in the stand, and what we'll do is I'll go down to where you saw her, and then I can blood trail, and we'll know exactly where she's at. That way we can just pull her back to the stand, and we can continue hunting the rest of the night. Ended up, I blood trailed this deer, and she bled like crazy, and ended up tracking this deer for almost 400 yards. There is no way that this deer possibly lived with all the blood that I found. But just before this deer reached the private land, the blood just dried up. You can see where she ended up headed straight towards it. And just as I'm getting to the private land, like, it literally dried up. I could not find another speck. I looked and I looked and I looked, and I could not find anything. But this deer was just bleeding and going through some of the thickest, nastiest stuff I've ever walked through. But somehow she ended up escaping us. I'm positive that deer ended up expiring. Unfortunately, we couldn't get onto that land. We went back into the stand. With about 10 minutes left in legal shooting light, I thought that I had heard some movement straight behind me. So I had my gun in my lap ready to go. Jeff did as well. And what I didn't know was that Jeff thought the noise that I had heard was the deer that was coming up from behind me, not in front of me. And what had happened was a doe had come up to about 20 yards to our left-hand side. And Jeff ended up just assuming I was going to end up shooting this deer. I didn't even know it was there until he whispered at me. So I looked down, and 20 yards from me is a doe standing right there. So it would have been an offhanded shot for him. So I shouldered my rifle, shot that deer. It ran maybe about 100 yards, and you just heard that doe just crash hard into some woods. And ended up, after I shot, kind of chuckled. I said, I think it was kind of a small deer. And he said, you think? It definitely was a small deer. But it was last minute. Hadn't gotten a deer all this whole time while I was up at deer camp. So ended up tracking that deer. Jeff gave me a hand doing that. Drug that deer on out and put another deer into the meat locker. Ryan, Brendan, Alex, and Dad all headed out to another section of this public property, and they hunt deep, deep into the swamp, and Dad ended up shooting a really nice 8-pointer. So those guys drugged that deer on out, and we met up that evening and ended up having story time.
So this is the new style. We have the new venison cup. It goes great for when your name is Rick frickin' Flair. Woo!
I wish I was a dog.
Styling and profiling. Get yours today on JR Outdoors.
So the morning of the 16th, the rest of the guys ended up staying back at home and started processing deer while I headed out to the stand, hunted for a few hours, and then I needed to get down a few stands and trail cameras before I headed back to the deer camp. So I got that done, headed back, helped the guys butcher.
Take that because it's another
Oh,
ball.
that.
I'm gonna cook this up for the Lions game tonight.
Yeah, buddy, 8 o'clock,
Hey.
right, Brad?
Yep.
It's winter time and he's got a shelter. He almost doesn't have to hunt no more.
The problem is you can't. We process all of our own deer up at deer camp, so we skin them, quarter them, get all the cuts of meat out of them. We grind them all up into burger, steaks, and roasts, and bag them and tag them. That way, when we come home, we've got our deer all done, ready to go, and ended up just having a great time. So we all headed home on the afternoon of the 16th, and that wraps up our deer camp series. And I tell you what, deer camp, like I said, is not about all the deer. While we love shooting the deer, we love the hunting, we love the meat, it is all about that camaraderie and the hanging out and just having a good time, hanging out with all the other dudes, and just having some good old male bonding. So overall, it's been a successful season for me. This is the most deer I've ever had. I got 3 deer this year. One of them is my biggest bow buck to date, this guy right here, and I love this thing. I'm proud of it. It's an awesome 7-pointer. Like I said, biggest bow buck. I've only shot 2 bucks with my bow. This is definitely my biggest, and super proud of this guy. The hunt continues, though. Hunting season is not done here in Michigan. I have a huge, huge buck. Later on, hopefully this year, I'm going to tell you guys a little bit more about the buck that I've been talking about. I've left you guys a teaser photo. I'll probably put one up right here, another teaser photo. And in my last video when I shot this buck, had some teaser photos in there. But hopefully I'll have a little story. I'd love to find, I believe that deer is already dead. I am hoping to be able to find out who shot that deer and maybe interview him, because it is just a deer of a lifetime. But either way, I'll be sharing him with you guys later on this season. So if you're interested in that, hit the subscribe button. Watch for that. Deer camp was awesome this year. Again, as always, we're going to end up closing out, just leaving some highlights, because really part of the reason I make these deer camp videos is for you guys to kind of see what our camp life is, but also for us, our deer camp, so we can just watch it and just have a great time reliving those memories year after year. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this, and if you did, please consider hitting the subscribe button down below. And as always, thanks for sticking around, and we'll see you guys next time.
Could you imagine, Ryan? Imagine he got her name. Like,
It is November 11th. This is my 7th. Right, it's November 10th.
Straight sometimes isn't the problem. It's aiming, I guess. Right? There isn't a thing
Placement?
Yeah. There isn't a thing you do that's straight.
bullseye.
There we go.
Mama, mama.
All the ears ringing.
And you listen
No
to your
way.
ears and you hear the spirit of the wild.
Oh! Man! Mystical flight of the arrow.
Who's your uncle?
Who's
Who's
your
your uncle?
daddy?
Dad?
lesson.
Hey.